Victoria's hospitals are dealing with a surge in COVID admissions as the state records another day of more than 1,600 cases. Hospitalisations have gone up 75% since Grand Final day. There are now 564 people with COVID being cared for in the system, and the majority haven't been vaccinated. In fact, authorities say nearly 80% of the 10,000 new cases from the past week haven't had the jab. Fortunately, a growing number are lining up for it. There are another 96,000 yesterday, and that puts us at just over 55% fully vaccinated. But there are still sections of the community, especially those with the highest risk, who are falling behind, as Annie Kearney reports.
Margarita Coppolino had one simple but powerful reason to overcome her fear of needles and get vaccinated.
I didn't want to be one of the statistics to be found dead in my apartment by COVID.
At least 70% of the state's NDIS participants 16 and over have received their first dose, but vaccination rates among Victorians living with a disability are still lower than the general population.
It's the right attitude to take, is to try and get the vaccination rates among people with disability even higher than the general population, because we are a more vulnerable population.
To try to boost numbers, the state government is spending $5 million on increasing access. That includes setting up 10 dedicated pop-up clinics. And from tomorrow, people with disabilities will be able to get vaccinated at state-run centres without making a booking.
People with disability are sort of behind the eight ball, and it's really important. And this announcement sort of takes steps to address those barriers.
We're opening up. We've got to protect our most vulnerable, and that's why we've stepped in.
Today, Victoria recorded 1,638 cases and 2 deaths. Just over a third of new infections are from the northern suburbs, 30% are from the west, 351 cases are from the southeast, and 114 are from the eastern suburbs.
When we see days of 1,700 cases, we're not just worried about that because of a case number that is concerning. The real worry about that is that that's 80 or 90 people who are going to end up in hospital down the track, and the same the next day, and the same the next day, and the same the next day.
A school principal in Essendon has written to families warning them to stick to the rules. St Columba's College principal Rita Grimer wrote in a letter to parents that an illegal 16th birthday party involving students from multiple schools had seen a number of teenagers catch the virus, with one believed to now be in intensive care.
The Police Association has confirmed that a number of officers have tested positive after working at recent anti-lockdown protests, including one member who was taken to hospital this morning in a serious condition. The association won't say if any of those officers have been vaccinated.
As case numbers come up and as our members continue to operate freely in the community, they are at a greater risk than many other workers.
In a sign of how successful vaccination is at reducing the chance of catching COVID, 8 out of 10 new cases in the past week hadn't had a single dose. Annie Kearney, ABC News, Melbourne.
The Mildura base hospital has had to put 60 staff and 20 patients into isolation after a positive case was there over 2 days this week. For more, our reporter Alex Trelaw joins us from Mildura. So, Alex, what's the latest there?
Good evening. Well, 4 cases were recorded for the Mildura area today, taking the total number of cases in the area since this outbreak began to 9. Now, we don't know much about these cases except that they were all from one household, and so extra testing has gone underway in the city today. Non-urgent surgery has been postponed in the hospital today, and also people have been told to stay away unless it's absolutely necessary that they need medical attention. We spoke to the CEO of the hospital earlier today, and he says it's been a stressful time for the service.
Oh, we're under a lot of pressure. I'm not dismissive about that. I think the reality is we've got a community now living with COVID. We've got cases building in the community, and obviously we're dealing with it internally. So, yeah, there's no question we're under pressure, but we've planned for this for a long time. Unfortunately, we have to turn some services off, which is always unfortunate, but, you know, I think our community fully understands.
So, Alex, how has the community there responded?
Well, people are concerned that we're going to go into a snap lockdown like we've seen in other regional centres who have had a spike in cases like Shepparton and Ballarat. But we're also concerned about our border communities like Detton, who recorded 4 cases today, but with an unknown source. And so we don't know if they're linked to the Mildura cases either. So it's really a mystery as to how the virus has come to the northwest of the state.